right, so I'm going to say recording. Good. So let me do an introduction. Good morning. No, that's sorry. Good morning. This is Dr. Rutledge and a patient, and I don't know much about you yet. I've forgotten what you told me, so it's going to be a surprise to me. And but we're going to probably talk about weight and eating and things. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it's a good talk. And so we'll get started here. So let's see, I'll do this. And good morning, Miss X.
Hello, good morning. How are you today?
I am well. And is it okay to ask which country you are in?
Yes, I am in Australia.
Ah, very good. Okay. So what is your question today?
Oh, okay. So I had a bypass surgery 1 year ago, and I lost almost 30 kilos.
Good.
So I'm happy with the results.
Yeah.
The only complaint that I have, and that I hope that you can help me with, is that I go too much, like day and night, to the bathroom.
Ah,
I have constant diarrhea,
yeah.
and the smell is terrible,
Ah,
terrible.
yeah. Okay. All right, I think I'm ready to start, and I will ask you some questions to try and give you some suggestions. So, when you had your weight loss surgery 1 year ago, you weighed roughly how many kilos?
94,
94. And you've lost how much?
yeah, 30.
So you are almost too thin.
No, I am still overweight. If you look, that table
Okay.
that tells you, because I am 162 tall.
Okay.
And so I think the ideal weight for me would be like 58, but I am happy with my weight now.
Okay, but let me ask it a different way. So right now, your weight is around 60 kilos.
64.
Okay. So in America, we would
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
I don't know what you say in Australia, but
Okay, okay.
we would say that's around 60.
Okay,
Okay. So just to convert from my
okay.
own mind, American pounds, you weigh around 120
Mhm.
some pounds, maybe 130 or something. Yeah.
Uh,
It's about
I
200.
am not sure.
That's okay. But it's
Yeah.
around. So to me, maybe it's more than that because it's not just times two, it's times 2.2. But to make kilograms into
Mhm.
pounds, you multiply by 2.2. So you're close to, uh, and I know you have stronger feelings about what means close, but you're close to 120 pounds,
Mhm.
and that's, to me, you may be happy with it, but it's close to being too thin. You're very close. Most heavy patients who have MGB or other weight loss surgery, you are in, you're close to being sick. That's what I would say, but maybe I'm wrong. You think not?
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't look like
No, but you feel
too
great.
thin.
Yeah, you feel wonderful.
I feel good. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
1 month ago, how many kilos did you weigh?
Oh, I've been keeping this weight for the last, uh, well, I am still losing depending on what I eat, but if I eat right, if I eat healthy,
Uh-huh.
I'm still losing a bit of weight, but very, very slowly.
Okay,
Then, 1 weekend is enough to recover.
okay, but roughly last month you weighed how many kilos? Roughly.
Mm. Roughly was like 64.2,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And this month you weigh about how much?
64.
Okay. So you're losing maybe half a kilo a month, something like that?
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
Okay. but it hasn't stopped. You're losing a little bit each month, maybe, or no? Am I wrong?
Uh, so I was in when I was not working and I was very anxious and I was eating not healthy,
Yes.
I was not losing weight. When I start to eat healthy, then the weight loss started again.
Okay. Okay. When you were eating that poorly, when you were eating badly back then, did your weight go up at all? Did you go up to gain some weight, or you just stopped losing?
Yes,
Okay. All right. Okay.
yes. No, I
Well,
was yeah, putting some weight on.
but you're not at all worried about that. You're mainly you have other issues. We don't care about that. I might be concerned
Yes,
about it, but that's not your question today.
yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Right now, what really,
Okay.
yeah, worries me is something else
Okay. Can I
because it's very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And we're going to get with that. But the first two questions, if I could, if you will forgive me, I am a little worried about you. So can you write down on the things we'll do later that maybe another time or something we will chat about what to do if you lose a little too much weight or what to think about, okay? Not that you should, but
Okay.
you were telling me I should not worry about that. We should go on to something else. And so I will listen to you, but I'm a little worried. And can I ask you what kind of surgery you had? You had a Roux-en-Y bypass or a mini bypass or a sleeve or
Mi mini bypass.
mini bypass? Okay, all right. Do you know the surgeon? Do you know how much he bypassed?
I don't know, but I know that it was not that much because he knew. Okay, so let me explain something. The reason that I decided to have this surgery was more because I had a lap band
Yeah.
for, I
Ah,
don't know,
yeah, yeah,
5 years,
yeah.
and I didn't lose any weight. On the
Okay,
contrary,
right.
it was just very inconvenient. For example, if I was having a dinner with a friend
Right.
and sometimes, I couldn't eat. If I, eat too fast,
Yeah,
the first fork,
yeah,
then I couldn't eat. And then, it was very uncomfortable. It was very annoying,
yeah.
especially because I had company, when I go to a friend's house and who cooks for me, and then I can't eat.
Got it.
I couldn't, actually, I couldn't,
Okay.
with lap band. So I decided to take it out.
Uh-huh.
And when I talked to the doctor, the doctor said that I should worry because if I just removed the band, I could, put more weight
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So, and that's why I decided to have the surgery.
Okay. Can I interrupt you and apologize? Because we only have a limited amount of time, let's talk a little bit less. You did a very good job, but to get your answers to your questions, I'm afraid we'll talk too much. But I have a bunch of things to tell you about if you lose too much after MGB, and but we will skip that for today, but keep it in the back of your mind. Maybe you will lose too much, but we'll see. Okay, let's go back some more questions. Do you have any medical problems or take any pills for anything? High blood
No,
pressure, diabetes, depression, anything?
no.
Good. Okay.
Oh, and yes, mild depression.
Okay.
I take citalopram.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Now I'm going to ask you some other questions. Again, we want just short, quick answers because we have a lot to go through. So stay with me. All right. So what time do you normally go to bed?
11 p.m.,
And what time usually do you wake up?
7 a.m.,
Uh-huh. And when is the first time you eat or drink anything when you wake up?
7:30.
Yeah. What do you have?
I have my breakfast.
Good. What do you have for breakfast?
Um, Lately, I like to have eggs, tomatoes and onion, and avocado.
Okay. Good. All right. And if
Other times,
Go ahead.
Sorry. All the time, I eat a slice of low
Mhm.
carb bread,
Yes.
bread that has a lot of protein with butter
Good. Okay.
and a black coffee. Yeah.
Black coffee. Okay. So, do you know that black coffee can make you go to the bathroom? It stimulates.
Yes, I know.
So maybe you put on your note to consider going a couple of days without the coffee to see if that helps your bowel movements.
Okay.
Okay. Now, also, have you ever smelled a rotten egg?
No.
Okay. Well, for your experience, leave an egg out to rot and smell it. It's filled with a sulfur-containing compound called sulfur dioxide. It's very stinky. And when you tell me
Okay.
about having smelly bowel movements, oftentimes it might be the eggs. Now, how does that happen? They don't get adequately digested because of the mini gastric bypass, so they get lower in the gut where there's not so much digestive juice, and then it can stink. So eggs are good for you in some cases, but they might be a source of the stinky gas. So I just bring that up for you to think about.
Okay. Good point. Thank you.
Another thing is that you're eating the avocado.
Yes.
Avocado is high fat, and the MGB does not digest fat very well. And when fat goes through you and
Okay.
it's not digested, it acts like an oil. It lubricates and causes more frequent bowel movements and smelly bowel movements. So it might be something to consider is to lose the avocado for a week or two and see if your bowel movements improve.
Okay.
Okay. And the other things you told that are in your breakfast, could you mention them again for me? The eggs, avocado, what other things? Tomatoes, what other things?
It's yeah, onion.
Onions?
Yes, red onions. It's a
Have you
salad with
smelled an onion?
tomatoes and red onions.
Have you smelled an onion?
Yes. Yes.
How does it smell?
It's very strong. Strong.
Okay, now have you smelled your bowel movements and they're stinky?
Yeah,
Maybe a
but
little less onions.
not the same.
Well, just think about it. A
Okay.
little less onions for a week or two. Onions are very healthy. But you see, this goes along with your having maybe too much bypass because it moves through so quickly. If you eat onions and they are completely digested, then there is no smell. But if they're going through very quickly, then they don't have a time to get completely digested and they have still their stinky smells.
Okay.
Okay, so this is another thing to consider. It doesn't mean they're bad for you, they're very good for you. But again, it sounds like to me, there is a little risk in my mind that you have too much bypass. The food is going through too soon, and maybe you will call me in 3 or 6 months and say, I'm a little too thin. But things are going through so fast that the rotten egg and the onion smells and the avocado oily, greasy smells are coming out your bottom, and that's causing the problem.
Okay.
Okay? Now, tell me the other things you were eating.
Um, Sometimes I have in the middle of the morning I have white cheese.
Okay, cheese is. Have you ever smelled rotten cheese?
Yes, terrible.
Okay, so you're eating. It
Well,
sounds
any
like to me,
food.
you go to the grocery store, you find everything that's stinky and you eat it. And now you
Yeah,
go,
only after routine,
why is
but
my bowel movement stinky?
okay, yes, and then my lunch. It's a combination. It's like brown rice and chicken and salad, Caesar salad. Um, what else? Minced beef with broccolis or
Mhm.
with
You know
any
about,
green.
yeah, let me interrupt. So, Do you know about composting? Do you know how to compost your garbage?
Yes.
You heard about composting?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know that you can compost vegetables, very easily? They work very well in compost. Yes, you've heard of this maybe?
Yes.
Okay, you can look this up after we're done, but basically I'm going to tell you instead of asking you. It's very easy to compost like banana peels and fruits and vegetables, and depending on how you do it, they don't stink. It's amazing. There's no smell. But if you put minced beef or rotten eggs
Mhm.
and cheese in a compost heap, you will have a stinky toilet.
Okay.
So again, those things that you are
So,
mentioning, you might want to take a week off from those things.
and what do you recommend me to eat?
I will come back to that, but let's keep going. So then after lunch, what do you have after lunch before dinner?
Fruit or Greek yogurt with berries.
Have you ever smelled rotten, stinky, spoiled milk?
It's terrible.
I'm sorry,
It's terrible.
I can't hear you.
It smells terrible.
I can't hear you louder.
Terrible, terrible.
So I think we're getting close to the answer to your question. What do you think?
Yes, I think so, but I'm getting out of options here because I cannot eat.
No, wait, just a second. First of all, we have to find who the killer is, and then we will fix the problem. But we had a murder, now you and I are detectives. You are Sherlock Holmes and I am Dr. Watson, yeah?
Okay.
But I think we found the killer.
Yes. Many killers.
Yes, ma'am. There is a killer in the morning, a killer at the snack, a killer at lunch, and a killer between meals. Yeah?
Yeah, yes.
So now our job at the end is now that we have the killer, we have to fix the problem, right? But stay with me. We're still investigating the crime, okay?
Okay.
All right. So now what is for dinner? What does commonly you have for dinner?
Uh, Soup, chicken soup. I love it. Or chicken with salad, or wrap with chicken, cheese, and vegetables. Um, yeah, something with, I try to have protein, every time that I eat.
Yeah. Yeah, you need protein because your bypass is too long. So yeah, that's going to be a problem for us, but okay. All right. Well, those are all bad too, but okay. And then after dinner, do you have a snack?
Well, I think I am an emotional eater.
Yes.
No, I'm
All right.
sure I am emotional eater. So it's very hard for me to control what I eat at night, in the evenings, when I am watching TV.
Yes, I know.
Mm.
So what do you
So
snack
if
on
I
TV? Tell me quickly.
popcorn,
Uh-huh.
cheese,
Okay.
yeah, um, sometimes chocolate,
Uh-huh.
um, mandarin fruits,
Good. Okay. All right.
coconut.
Coconut? Okay, that's bad. But okay. All right. So here's what we can say. First of all, if we fix your diarrhea, then your proteins may get low and you may get sick and you may need to have your surgery revised because I think your bypass is too long. You've lost too much. My opinion, just my opinion. I could be wrong. Now, your bowel movements are stinky and frequent because your bypass is so long. that you're going to lose too much weight. But you can make it less stinky by taking out foods that cause the smell. Now, you ask, what can you replace it with? So for a week or two, what I would try is to start off with oatmeal for breakfast, but oatmeal with no milk and oatmeal with no sugar and a special kind of oatmeal. So do you have your pencil?
Yes, I am opening a file here
Okay.
where I can take notes. Okay. Yeah, you
Okay.
can
So
say.
we're saying take out the meat and uh, the cheese and foods like this, milk, things like that for a week, and see if the bowel movements get better, right? Then you can
Okay.
try to bring some of those back in, but I think you will have trouble because my diagnosis is that you're going to lose too much, and I think there's a good chance you need to have the surgery revised because you are so close to the edge. And when you take out these foods, then your diarrhea will get better, but you won't have enough protein. And I think you are in a difficult situation, maybe more than you think. But I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But so take those things out for a week or so and see if the diarrhea and the smell get better. Now, instead, I would have oatmeal for breakfast, and there are different kinds of oatmeal. Oatmeal can be processed into instant oatmeal or cinnamon sweetened oatmeal, all kinds of terrible, awful processed oatmeal. Have you ever seen the plant called wheat?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen a picture of a plant called wheat? Do you know what a wheat plant looks like?
Yes, I have an idea. Yes.
Does it look at all like a donut?
Yeah.
No, not at all, because it's highly processed. They pour in acid, they grind it to dust, and then they put in other chemicals to turn it into white flour, and then with sugar and oil and grease, they make a donut. Okay, that's highly processed. That's what made you heavy in the first place. Highly processed oatmeal is not going to make you better. What we want is unprocessed oatmeal, and that's called steel cut oatmeal. So STEEL, steel cut oatmeal. Yes?
Okay.
Okay. Or groats, GROATS. That's very unprocessed oats. That's oatmeal.
Okay.
This will put fiber in your gut. Like the
Mm-hmm.
fruits and vegetables, it's fiber, but it's a different kind and a stronger version of fiber. And that fiber will give you bulk. It will slow down the gut and the diarrhea you're having. And it's a neutral fiber. That is, it doesn't stink as much.
Okay. And do I eat it like raw or do I cook it?
You cannot eat it raw. You boil it with water or you microwave it for 2 to 3 minutes until it is ready to eat. It will be not very sweet. And if you want, you can put some blueberries on it, but nothing else.
Okay.
And then for the rest of the day, since you don't have many choices, I would have a little bit of oatmeal for lunch and dinner to start the meal because we want to see if we can get you over the diarrhea and over the smell in a few days. And then we can come back and see what we can add in. But the beginning, I would have a half a cup, a little bit of oatmeal to try and get your gut better. And then we can try to add back some of the other foods. But have a little half cup before the
Okay.
breakfast, before lunch, and before dinner.
Okay.
Now, the other foods that are pretty good, that have pretty good fiber, that you can have is, for example, you could have a banana, right? With
Mm-hmm.
breakfast or
Yeah.
lunch or dinner or snack or anytime. Okay?
Can I have banana with the oatmeal?
Yes.
Okay.
You could have an apple. Apple has lots of fiber. You could have an orange.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you could have other things like you were talking about. You could have a salad, but with the salad, we don't want you to have too much dressing because sometimes the dressings have little oils in there that can cause the diarrhea and the smell. What you could have for dressing on the salad, you could have some extra virgin olive oil and some vinegar. You know, you could have balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, you could have apple cider
Yeah.
vinegar, you could have white vinegar, but a little bit of olive oil and vinegar would be a good salad dressing.
Okay.
For snacks, you could also have a handful of raisins or also peanuts. Small amount, nothing more than a handful, otherwise you can have some trouble with them as well. But you could have throughout the day 2 or 3 tiny handfuls of peanuts, but also walnuts, almonds, cashews, Brazil nuts, things like that. They're high in protein.
Okay.
I would do this for 2 or 3 days and see how you do. It's not a pleasant diet, but we're trying to get you to feel better. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Then you could
And
add in,
go ahead, please.
oh, I'm sorry. Then you could add in a little spoonful of beans. Beans are high fiber and high protein. Now they can cause gas, so I wouldn't start them right away, but during the day, after a couple of days, if things are better, you could add a teaspoon of beans. So you cook up a pot of beans, you could have black beans, you could have navy beans, you could have kidney beans, you can have chickpeas, you can have pinto beans, however you want to cook, and cook them a little more than usual. That'll help with your gut. And have no more than like a teaspoon, again with some olive oil and some vinegar, and just 2 or 3 times a day because they have fiber and protein. But we want to put the fiber in because that will tend to slow down and normalize your diarrhea. Lots of fiber. Nuts have fiber, beans have fiber, oatmeal has fiber, apple has fiber, banana has fiber. You see?
Okay.
Just for a day or two to see if we can get you healthy, okay? During this time, you'll
Yes.
also be growing new bacteria. Have you read about, do you know about the microbiome?
No.
Okay, the microbiome are the bacteria in your gut. So you have Google, you Google the microbiome, Google diarrhea, Google fibrous foods, and learn about eating bland, not irritating, not terribly spicy diet so that you can try and help your colon come back to normal. And we're going to let you have some meat,
Okay.
milk, and little bits of cheese later, we hope, if we can get you better. I think there's a real risk that you are on your way to getting sick from too much weight loss, but I hope I'm wrong.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Um, I, I am in one of these bariatric groups on Facebook,
Yes, yes.
and I see many people saying, that they can only eat small portions. I have no restrictions on
Good,
how much I can eat.
good.
Is it good? Why some people have restrictions?
Well, let's stay focused. You could ask 100 questions, and we are going to run out of time here in a little bit. Let's keep our focus on making you better from your colon and your diarrhea and your gas, okay?
Yes.
And we have many questions
Okay.
we could ask and talk about, but let's get you better from this, and then we'll talk another day. You could write down any question I will answer anytime, day or night, but let's focus on this so we can get finished with this, okay?
Okay.
Now, after 2 days of the oatmeal, 2 days of little baby bits of the nuts and beans, little bits, little bits. If you're doing okay, then we can add some whole wheat pasta, okay? You know pasta, spaghetti, noodles, things like that, yes?
Mm-hmm.
And brown rice, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So brown
Yes.
rice is different than white rice because it has fiber. Did you know?
Yes, I know.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, whole wheat pasta is different than pasta because it has more fiber.
Okay.
When you cook the rice or cook the pasta, we want less cooking. Why? Have you heard the Italian cook the pasta al dente, a little chewy,
Yes.
cook so much?
Yes.
The reason is
Yes.
the less cooking is less processing. It gives you more of the fiber. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now also cook the pasta the day ahead and put it in the refrigerator overnight. Why? Because the starch, the sugary starch inside of it will create resistant starch and it will give you more fiber in the gut and less calories.
Okay.
So then you make some pasta, a little bit, just a cup, and then you give it some pasta sauce. Do you know how to make pasta sauce?
Yes.
Okay. We don't want you to make
What kind?
no meat, but just, you know, that 90% are tomatoes. You don't have to simmer the tomatoes or anything like that. You have a blender.
Yes.
Okay, you put the tomatoes in the blender and turn it on for just 10 seconds. Google how to make
Mm-hmm.
fresh, healthy pasta. Tomatoes, and then you add spices into your taste. Anything else, right? Even your little bits of onions, after 5 or 7 or 10 days, you can start to make things, some of those great foods. You can put a little mushrooms in it. You don't have to put that in while you blend it, but then you cook it a little bit just to make it warm. The pasta you get out of the refrigerator, just warm it up a little bit, and you have a little bit of spaghetti, little bit of pasta. Lots of fiber, lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
In addition, you could have a boiled potato. But you boil the
Okay.
potatoes ahead of time and put them in the refrigerator because then you get resistant starch, more fiber. Potatoes have a lot of fiber, but you'll get more fiber. And then you could also add a sweet potatoes or other kind of root vegetables like this, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then we will talk again in a week or two, yes?
Okay.
All right, good talking with you.
That's fine. Yes. And what about whey protein?
You want to take some whey protein powder?
Yes, I'm asking if I can.
I think that's a bad idea now. You might need
Mm-hmm.
it later because your bypass is too long, but right now we're focused on, we can't fix everything at the same time. You are driving down the
Mm-hmm.
road and you have one problem on one wheel. If we go to all the wheels, we'll fall off the road. So I think the one thing is we want your diarrhea to go away and we want your smells to go away. And we can do this, I think, by you listening to these things and trying them a little bit at a time.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I give you one more thing.
That's fine. Yes.
If you get plain non-Greek yogurt, plain yogurt, if you look on the back, it should say nothing but milk and bacteria. Just plain yogurt. After 3 or 4 days, you can have a spoonful of yogurt 3 or 4 times a day also.
Okay. Uh, 3 times a day. Okay. That's it?
Yeah, it may take a week or two until this all gets better. The gut bacteria, the microbiome, has been very badly damaged. It'll take some time to grow it back. It's like growing a garden of plants inside you, and they have to be grown again because you've been kind of poisoning them a little bit. And so it'll take time for them to come back. So it'll go a little bit, and then, but stay in touch with me. You can call me or email me or text me or do a video call, anything, anytime, day or night, until you get better. And also send in a message to your doctor and tell him that this is what you're doing. Make sure he's okay with it.
Okay. So what's the name of the bacteria so I can Google it?
The bacteria?
Yeah.
The bacteria themselves,
What's the name?
millions of different kinds. Don't worry about that. It's microbiome. That's
Oh,
all the bacteria.
okay.
if you ask me what's the name of the plant that
Okay.
grows in Australia, what's the name of the one plant? You say that's a silly question because there are millions of plants growing in Australia. Yes?
Yes, no, I was just looking for the name microbiome that you mentioned
Yeah.
before.
Okay. Microbiome. Yeah. Microbiome is all of Australia full of plants. And those plants make a difference. They are changing how we think about our health. And yours are messed up, I think. And the fiber will help grow them
Yes.
back. So meat and cheese grows different kinds of plants that are more common in stinky diarrhea. And when we get the fiber, you should have more healthy food, and it should help the gut. Okay?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Are you happy? Do you like what I told you? Are you angry?
A little bit of both. It's just because, you had one of these surgeries, so you can eat, what you like, but then, you have even more restrictions.
Yes, but maybe if we make you better, we're not saying you have to eat like this forever. What we're saying is your gut is damaged. When you have diarrhea and
Mm.
gas, it means it's not working right. Correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Yes.
what we're trying to do now is you don't have to eat like this forever, but we're trying to get you fixed because
Hmm.
somebody poisoned your garden. Your garden of bacteria that lives inside of you is poisoned. We're going to try and see if we can get it better. And I'm a little worried about you too. I think it
Okay.
might be serious. I hope not. Eating oatmeal, I didn't tell you anything big, right? Eat oatmeals. That's not that difficult. I didn't tell you anything hard, right?
No,
Yeah. I mean, in other words, I could have
it's
said,
not hard to do what you asked me to.
sorry, I didn't tell you have to go back and have surgery or take medicine or, have an x-ray or anything. I said, eat some oatmeal, right?
Yeah, I
Okay. So,
understand.
yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope nothing else, but we'll see. Be in touch with your doctor. And you can go on your other uh, uh, webpage, Facebook book groups and tell him I talked to Crazy Dr. Rutledge and here's what he has me eating.
Yes, I can see, that many people are following you.
What's that?
I can see in this group that you are helping many people.
I know but everything I told you is different from what you've heard from other people though, right? That you should be taking your whey protein and eating lots of
Yeah.
soup and all that stuff, high protein. And yeah, maybe I think there's a lot more we could talk about another day, but I'm afraid that the Zoom is going to close up on us. So I'm trying to bring our talk to the end for today, and we can talk another day. Was this okay for you? Did you enjoy us talking like this?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Oh,
It was very good.
it was a pleasure talking with you. Now, can I do can I say good day, mate, and for Australian speak?
Yes, you can.
Then I have to say flip on the Barbie. Is that the other thing all Australians say?
Yes, yes. How do you know that? Have you been in Australia?
I have. I've been to Melbourne to teach MGB.
Oh, okay. Yes, and what motivates you to do, this, to provide support to people like that?
Well, think about it. I think you and I have made like kind of a friendship, so it's very rewarding. Especially, here's the other thing: if you do badly with what I've told you, you'll be kind of like my teacher, and if you do well, then
Uh,
that'll be my teacher also. And so I've been doing this now, the
okay.
telephone and the thing here, and stuck in India with the pandemic for about 6 months now, and so I'm getting smart, not because I'm smart because people talk to me and they tell me, oh, that oatmeal really helped. Oh, I started a little bit of beans, it helped. I ate some more fruit, the
Mm,
bananas and the apples, and now I feel better, And I got rid of that
mm.
meat and the other fatty, greasy foods, and I feel better. So a lot of what I told you, now people say, oh, Dr. Rutledge, he's so smart. And I'm not smart. But see,
Yeah, of course you are.
no, you're going to be my teacher.
Oh, I'm going to be your guinea pig.
Oh, don't say that. That's terrible. What a horrible
No,
thing.
I'm just kidding. Yes.
Yeah, that's awful.
No, no, I'm just kidding.
I called somebody
Yes,
up
no,
in
I'm just kidding.
Australia to be a guinea pig. That's terrible. That's embarrassing. I hope not. I've talked to
No,
hundreds of people like you, and I've done this, and they got better.
yeah,
You can talk to them on my
yes,
Facebook page. So my hopes and
yes,
prayers
no, no, I
are
understand.
best for you, only for the best.
I really, really, really appreciate your help,
You're
and I'm more than happy to be your a teacher.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe both of us will be better at the end of this. That's my prayers, that's my hopes, and I think so because
Yeah.
I've done this before. Your stinky gut is a combination of the short bypass, the short bowel that you have left. The surgeon might have bypassed too much, not because he's a bad guy, because you can't tell. But if he's bypassed too much, you have to get back to the high fiber, and your gut can't tolerate and can't digest eggs and meat and cheese right now. So it's telling you from below, that toilet is actually our teacher. And now we have to go back and try and get you fixed. And I think I know it because I've been taught by many others before you, but you will teach me again. Every day, God tests me to try and see if I'm smart enough to do it again.
Okay, and what was my question? Okay, and what about probiotics?
Look up probiotics. Here's the idea with probiotics. The probiotics tells you about pro, which is good, biotics, which are bacteria, like biology. And probiotics sound like a really good choice. But if you look at the research on probiotics has been very mixed. Just as you said, we want good bacteria inside of you. And there have been lots of research on probiotics, and a lot of it has been not that good. And here's the real easy answer why. Because when you eat a bacteria from your mouth, you digest it and kill it in almost all cases.
Mm,
Okay, when you digest
okay.
meat, you turn it into nothing but protein molecules. You eat every bit of it. You destroy it with your enzymes and your acid and your bile, right? And so when a bacteria wanders into the
Yes.
top of your gut, you kill it. Now, the lower part of your gut, your colon, we'd like it to be filled with very friendly bacteria. And if you can get your gut healthy with this fiber, your poop won't even stink much. And that, when you have that foul smelling, stinky, stinky gut, that's telling you you have grown bad bacteria by eating junk and partially by your bypass. And so what we want to do is fix that. Now, here's the other thing. When we fix that bacteria, there's good research that you may have less depression, less anxiety, and other things may get better, like your craving. So there's lots more to talk about some other day. But number one, let's get you over the diarrhea. 2 baby steps. First, some oatmeal, a little bit of banana, a little bit very gentle. And then you can add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You can come back and watch the video again. And then we'll hopefully get you better in a couple of weeks, maybe a month. And then we'll start adding back some of these other crazy foods that you're eating.
Okay. It sounds like a plan.
All right, it was my pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for sharing your video, and I have your permission to share this with others. It doesn't say who your name is, it just talks about your problem. So maybe it will help someone else, if that's okay.
Yes.
All right, well,
Yes, it's
my pleasure,
okay.
and wish you the best. Stay in touch with me. You can call me anytime, day or night.
Likewise. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.